Um, Now, you've been writing for a long time, and you've written about 5 books. Let's start from there. How did you start writing, and how has it been writing and writing? You had a series in a couple of newspapers back then. I don't know if they're still running now. And after then, you started churning out all those books. What has the experience been like for you?
For me, I think one of the motivations for my writing life is my life mission. I always say to people who care to listen that my life mission is to inspire and inform individuals so they can get involved in life. And so everything I do is centered around that. My interest is to always look for ways to continue to inspire people, to get them informed so they can get involved in life. It was what led to me writing for Nigeria's #1 business newspaper. Wrote for them and continue to bring some form of inspiration in my columns. In my column that ran for about 6 years before we put a pause on it. It does not mean that that's the end of it. Sometimes you just need to pause to breathe and ask yourself if this has been adding some form of value. And I've also contributed to several other newspapers and magazines across the globe. And it's been a very exciting experience. Exciting because, and from my studies and research, I've come to realize that every great content requires to be on a good platform. In other words, content is king and platform is queen. So you have great content, you want people to learn from it, you need to look for a great platform to put it on. And that's why I continue to write for Business Day. And after that, of course, for me, writing right became very, very important. And writing right for me here also means you want to write stories and also write a book around an area of focus. Like you mentioned, I've published a couple of books, and even as I speak with you right now, I'm actually writing another one, and it's centered around a story and experience that basically for me is something that I believe is centered around my life mission. So it's been a great journey. It's something I'll keep doing, and it's going to remain very unique to me and very important because of this statement and phrase by one of my mentors, Professor Patu told me. He says, when you put together content and you put together stuff that people can learn from, long after you've gone, what you would have done is you would have left intellectual immortality. So writing and getting it published so that people can read and learn from and use to do some form of development, for me is one thing that I think every one of us should take very seriously. Because if you want to lead, you need to be reading and reading the right kind of stuff.
Intellectual
immortality.
I like that.
Yes. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine, well, he's become my friend, a distinguished gentleman that I just took a course with in Canada, asked me that very phrase while he was running publish a book masterclass. And he said to me, just while he was training the conference and teaching that masterclass, he said, Joshua, what was that phrase you said to me that the professor from the Lagos Business School told you about? I said, you mean Professor Patu told me? He said, when you write something or you leave some form of knowledge with people, it is like transferring and living intellectual immortality. So I'm excited about that phrase too, intellectual immortality.
You wrote with Business Day for 6 years.
Yeah.
And you've written about 4 or 5 books after. It takes a lot of discipline writing consistently, doesn't it?
Definitely. And I'd like to quickly go back to this masterclass that I just attended out of, and I wouldn't like to mention the name of the organization, so it doesn't look as if I'm promoting them. But they are masters at teaching people how to write within 40 hours. So anybody who wants to write needs to begin to find time to learn from those who have done it, to find ways by which they can achieve it, and find goals and patterns that can help them achieve their own goals. I have the privilege to have been able to set goals that I have achieved. So when I heard this gentleman talking about writing books and disciplining yourself and doing it within 40 hours, or writing at least one chapter every week, and I'm saying to myself, you know what, this week will not pass until I finish writing the chapter. Just before this interview, one of the things that I said to myself, this week will not pass until I've written a chapter. And I'm almost done with a chapter in my new book, which is actually being published towards the end of the year. And it's my latest book. It's actually titled In Pursuit of Purpose, Peace, and Progress. How success through action and responsibility can create a better future. And for me, I've even seen the covers of the book. So I keep the cover in view so it keeps inspiring me. And when you picture the future, you're able to do something daily that draws you closer to it. And that for me is very, very vital. Anyone who wants to write a book should find a way to learn from those who have written books. And not just written any kind of stuff, written quality stuff. And we're talking of qualitative stuff.
Okay, so your life mission, which is to inspire
and inform individuals so they can get involved in life.
Has dictated the type of
books,
and books
that's right,
you've written. And it's also what took you on top of Kilimanjaro mountain. What were you doing there?
you know that side of my life is
Kilimanjaro mountain.
Yes, I did. That side of my life is very funny. I recall when I was trying to do it several years ago, I was asked by a brand consultant in one of the top Nigerian banks. He said to me, what if you don't get to the top and we put our brand to support you? What would you say? And I said to him, my motivation and mission will get me to the top. So there was a purpose behind it. And for me, that purpose was to do something positive that will bring a positive attention to my nation. So many people don't understand it. And they critiqued me. They thought I was joking. They just were like, you this young man.
I still think you are joking.
But can I quickly say this about that? A lot of times, when people are serious about their dreams and goals, people think they're joking until they see it actualized. That led me to discipline myself and exercising for 60 days. It led me to getting at least one brand that believed in me and said to me, we can guarantee that this man is serious about what he wants to do. And they put their brand name behind it. And that was the only, support that I got. But beyond that, I did it because I saw myself as Nigeria's flag bearer up Kilimanjaro. It is a privilege.
Wait, let's get this right. Now, are you the first Nigerian to climb Kilimanjaro mountain?
I'm not the first Nigerian to climb Kilimanjaro mountain, but it is on record in the Kilimanjaro Natural Park that one guy came and climbed this mountain with his national flag. There's a big difference in coming to climb the mountain and coming and putting it in record that you are coming with the flag of your country. It was put there in record.
So you planted the Nigerian flag. So we have our flag up.
Because it's very cold up in Kilimanjaro, you can't leave it up there. Okay. There are records. So the record book says clearly that this guy brought the Nigerian flag and successfully summit with it. So it's in record.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm still trying to wrap my head. Do you climb? It's the highest peak in Africa.
Definitely. It's 19,340 feet above sea level.
Were you afraid when you got to the middle?
Any dream that does not scare the dreamer is a dead dream. I was scared, but you know what? I was also confident because I had prepared. Tim Redmond says proper preparation produces powerful performances.
How many times have you climbed Kilimanjaro?
I've done Kilimanjaro twice. Not too long ago, I did it in honor of Africa's icon, Dr. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. As he was on his deathbed, this young Nigerian, his company was asked to package a climb in honor of Dr. Mandela. I had the opportunity to meet Graca Machel Mandela. There are photos to prove this. I had the opportunity to give a speech at the council parliamentary proceedings.
The Nigerian government hasn't paid that much of attention, has it?
Sir, I did not do this because I wanted Nigeria's attention as a government. I am Nigeria. Joshua Awesome is Nigeria. I see myself as Nigeria's flag bearer up the highest mountains in the world. They're actually 7, by the way.
You've climbed, how many of the mountains have you climbed?
Funny enough, I've only done Kilimanjaro out of the 7. But I have climbed mountains 5 times.
Thank you, Joshua, for coming on the channel.
It's always a pleasure. One of the things I'd like to leave with everyone who is watching this, please make up your mind to read at least 12 books a year. If you can't read 12 books a year, at least make sure you read a book that has 12 chapters so you can learn more. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Joshua.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed today's show. Before I say goodbye, let me give you a chance to win copies of Sukomi Vaughn's book titled 1000 Plus Practical Business Ideas and Directory of Money Sources. Sukomi was our guest on this show last week. His book has both physical and audio versions. To win one of the 6 copies Sukomi is giving out, just be one of the first 6 people to answer the following question correctly. Mention just one book we have featured as our book of the week on this show in the past. I repeat that. Mention just one book that we have featured as our book of the week on this show. Send your answer to 0809-111-4809 and put your name there. We will announce the winners on our Facebook page displayed on your screen before our next episode. So stay close to that page this week. This is where we'll draw the curtain on today's show. Don't forget you can join us on any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.